Hello again. It's been a while, hasn't it? But yes, I've returned from the dark depths of hell. And yes, well, that's quite ironic, because today we're going to be talking about Fright Nights. So, to start off, I'm going to be talking about the overall feel of the event. So, if you aren't aware, coronavirus is about, so that means it's obviously going to be a bit of a different year for Fright Nights. Obviously, they're going to have to reduce the capacity. It's going to be mazes are going to feel different with social distancing and stuff. But yeah, I found like they did it very well and they handled the thing. They still provided scares and they still provided a good lineup for Fright Nights. Yes, they only had 2 mazes, but it was definitely made up for with the amount of scare zones that they had. They had Creek Freak Massacre. Oh, not Creek Freak Massacre. Creek Freaks Unchained. Amity High, Thorpe High, the Swarm Invasion, the Festival Arena, and of course the roaming actors, the Crows, which are just in anywhere and any place. So yeah, it really did make up for, I guess, the loss of maybe 3 mazes or something that could have been added. And yeah, it was a good idea, and it definitely provided a bit more atmosphere to the event, I'd say, and it just provided a bit more of a buzz, than it may have felt like, because normally there's maybe 1 roaming team, that's it, and with scare zones being about, it's much more atmospheric for the event. So moving on to the first scare zone I'm going to be talking about, and we're going to be talking about Thorpe High. This was obviously a scare zone based upon the school of Thorpe High. Basically, it's a school ran by werewolves, and as you can tell, they have sort of werewolf sideburns, extra hair on their face and stuff. You can't really tell they're werewolves from a distance, but yeah, basically you can hear them howling and stuff, and yeah. So personally, I thought it was an alright scare zone. I wouldn't say it was the best really. Normally whenever you walk past there, you wouldn't get that much interaction from the actors. Had a good atmosphere from it, with definitely the great lighting and smoke, as you can see there, and they were playing out some tunes, quite fitting to the sort of vibe that they were trying to give. But as I said, it wasn't that much interaction when you were walking past, and every now and then obviously we had the dance show, and I think half of the actors would go over to the dance show, and then I'd only leave half of the actors in the other half at Thorpe High, which made it a bit more of a weaker experience to go through. So in general, it was a good theme, and I liked the rivalry between the 2 schools. But yeah, it was alright. I'd say one of the weaker ones, but definitely enjoyed it, and yeah, that's it. Thorpe High. Oh, moving on, we have Amity High, or Terror Amity High, and basically this is a scare zone, and they're basically vampires are running the school, and every now and then, as you can see right now, they do a little dance with the other school, Thorpe High, which is what I explained earlier, this is where they end up going. It's by the South Plaza, and obviously they also have a bus as well, with a good lighting package on top. So it's going to be a good atmosphere, especially with all the lighting, the smoke bumping out, and actors providing a good vibe. Walking through, I felt there was good interaction with the actors. Every now and then you'll see someone sprinting up and down the plaza from one of the actors, looking absolutely terrified, which is very entertaining if you're watching. Yeah, they had music pumping out. It was different to the WWTP radio, which they normally play around that area, which the music provided a different vibe. It's freshened it up for around the south. But yeah, I felt there was good interaction with the actors, and yeah, basically they had a good dance show, and yeah, that's it. Good lighting, good atmosphere, and good vibes. So yeah, that's it. Amity High at Thorpe Park Fright Nights. Next up, we have the Festival Arena, and this is also another scare zone. So this is situated where the Oktoberfest area was, near Darren Brown's Ghost Train, literally right outside of it. And as you can see in the thing, they've kept the stage that they had for Oktoberfest, just transferred it all, put different branding on it, and yeah, gave it some smoke and good lighting effects, with also a bit of fire. So personally, walking through, they had good interaction with the actors, lots of different characters. There was a clown, there was a magician, there's like a strongman sort of character. Every now and then someone would go in like some sort of Zoltar box and do some sort of interaction with guests from that. And they had just like there's loads of different characters, and very interactive for when you're walking through. At the start of the event, it was more just like you can enter whichever way you wanted, but then towards the end it became a one-way system thing that you'd walk through, and every like half an hour they'd put on this fire show or whatever, and they'd basically just all go crazy. It definitely put a good vibe in the area. People being scared, but you can see them running around, chasing people. Yeah, good interaction. You can have good weird conversations, like one of them, how they're going to abduct you, circus or stuff. And yeah, personally I thought it was a very good scare zone, and I enjoyed the concept of it. Definitely branched away from the big top sort of style, but yeah, good scare zone, and definitely would recommend. Now next up we have the Swarm Invasion, and this is another scare zone, surprisingly enough, based on Swarm Island, and it's based about the whole story of the Swarm. And there's two like characters, types of characters that walk around. You have the people that are against the Swarm, and they warn you about don't go on the ride and stuff. And then you also have these like military soldiers that say go to processing and get processed and obviously become Swarm. I'm not really sure, but basically it's just stuff like that. So you have the crazy people that will just run around and like be afraid of the Swarm. So every now and then they're like, maybe if the Swarm pass by, they're like get under cover. And yeah, it's very good interaction. Whilst queuing up for the Swarm, they might bang on the fence and say leave the queue and stuff. And yeah, it's just good entertainment, good interaction when you're walking to like the Swarm and everything. And fun fact, if you aren't aware, that the soldiers walking around, the guns that they have are actually from Zombie Hunt. So if any of you remember that, back in summer 2018, they did an event called Zombie Hunt, and basically it was laser tag with zombies as part of the Year of the Walking Dead. But the guns have returned, and another cool feature with the soldiers, one of their hands was like alienated, so you could tell that they were not human. And yeah, every now and then they'd stop you and say processing or something like that, and then basically just escort you to riding the Swarm. And yeah, overall it was a really good interaction. Probably one negative was the lighting. It wasn't that as good as like Amity High, Festival, others, and could have done with some more smoke. But apart from that, it was a good scare zone. I liked the soundtrack. Every now and then they bring back the old song that they did with the Swarm, and yeah, it just really fit the theme. But apart from that, it was a good scare zone. Next up, we have the Scare Maze Roots of Evil, and this is the first scare maze I'll be talking about, one of two, and basically it's about like a military sort of like operation, and they're just finding like what's evil in this forest. That's pretty much it. As you can see, there's some military soldiers right there. They're like briefly on your mission of finding out what lies within the forest. So theming wise, it's basically just a big forest. If you went through Blair Witch last time, it's quite similar to that, with just a bit of a different theme. And basically it's just like, the whole concept is just getting lost in a forest, because when walking through you really don't know where you are. You have to like scrape through bushes and everything. It's like getting lost in the forest, which is, if that's what they achieved, they definitely did. Actors wise, you had like a couple people in ghillie suits. They would hide in the bushes. You wouldn't be able to see them at all if you're getting a dark run through. Lighting wise, it was alright. It was decent. They had some like cool UV lighting that would because like some of the actors would have like UV paint on them, which will reflect off the UV light and show their face and the different details on it, I guess. Interaction wise, good interaction. I mean, they get you good jump scares, because you really don't see the people in the ghillie suits. But like, is it a good maze? Not one of the best. I mean, Blair Witch was never one of the best. Neither was this. And yeah, another controversial thing. £10 for paying for the maze. Obviously, is it worth £10? Probably not. I'd say 5 at max. But yeah, it's a decent maze. I mean, nothing to shout about, nothing special. But yeah, that's it. Roots of Evil. They had some good fog, and basically, it's just like getting lost in a forest. Next up, we have the other scare zone. Creek Freaks Unchained, not Creek Freak Massacre, Creek Freaks Unchained. So basically, this obviously carries on from the Creek Freak Massacre story of the buckwheats, and basically, you're walking through, and the whole story about the scare zone is they're going to recruit you. It goes a bit wrong, and then obviously you see the chainsaws. So through this. Brilliant actor interaction. As you can see in this video, this guy's getting stopped by all of them, getting asked questions, getting told to sit down, all of that stuff, and of course chainsaws. So and even if you don't want to like speak to them or like interact with them, they realise that, but they're still trying to scare you. So as you see, basically all of the actors either have an axe or a chainsaw. And those axes get pretty close. I mean, one time I just wanted to get some curly fries, walking through, one of them nearly knocked him out my hand with his axe, but yeah, they get pretty close to your face. The axes, of course, not the people, because social distancing, but yeah, the lighting, brilliant, the fog, they had some of that, and the theming as well was brilliant as well. They decorated the sawmill, like put some wood out, had excavators, like chainsaws, stuff. Brilliant theming, brilliant lighting, and of course you had the Creek Freak Massacre music playing in the background. As you can see here, they had a shop where you're like gearing up basically to buy your axe. And they also had a moonshine stand, which is actually quite smart. So every one of the actors, they had their own moonshine jar, so they could basically just take a drink, but also in character, which I think is quite smart. But yeah, they had a moonshine stand, and then of course they had like this finale with chainsaws, and they chased people out, and it was just a great scare zone, to be honest. I mean, obviously it would have been better to see the maze return, but obviously that can't be done because of COVID-19. But yeah, it was a brilliant scare zone, thoroughly enjoyed it. And even, I mean, if you just wanted some curly fries, you'd have to walk through the whole thing and nearly knock them out of your hand. But yeah, brilliant theming, brilliant interaction with the actors, and brilliant lighting and brilliant atmosphere. People running around with chainsaws, chasing after people, and it's just very entertaining. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, and that was Creek Freaks Unchained. Next up, we had the other maze, Platform 15. This is obviously a maze about the Sleeper Express, and it's going rogue, and the conductor basically crashes it or something like that. He goes missing, and yeah, basically the story is everybody drowns in tar, and then these people that are haunting it are these ghosts that have drowned in tar, and they basically just can't escape and go off. So basically, the story is a brilliant story. Personally, I had 2 great run-throughs on it. Brilliant interaction. The lighting was good as well. Good scares as well. Obviously, when you're walking through, you have a big long fence, and there's every now and then like actors will bang on it and create a large noise, which obviously jump scares. And yeah, it's basically I think it's just a good maze, solid maze, brilliant maze. Is it worth £10? Wouldn't pay any more than 7 for it, to be honest. Obviously it's a bit on the expensive side, you just can't do multiple run-throughs. But yeah, Platform 15, they changed the finale up for a bit. But personally, I didn't think it would be as good as the tunnel finale, but obviously we can't do the tunnel finale due to coronavirus. But yeah, it's a brilliant maze, thoroughly enjoyed it, good lighting, good interaction, and yeah, that's Platform 15. And finally, for the final thing, we're going over the roaming actors that are on the Thorpe Park Fright Nights, the Crows, and these were probably the best roamers, probably ever, at Fright Nights. As I say, these are based on like scarecrows, and they do not speak at all. Despite that, they have great interaction. When you're walking through the park, they just pop up everywhere in random locations. Normally you'll find them by these crosses, which every now and then they just stand. So every now and then, like 3 of them will stand on the cross completely still, occasionally moving their heads, and it's just really creepy. It's definitely a hit for Fright Nights. I'm hoping they bring it back, really, because this was a brilliant roaming team. Very creepy, and every now and then, like if you wanted to find the Crows, just look for a group of people, a random group of people on a pathway, and they'll probably be there terrorising people. You'll see people running around, and they just pop up in any location. So sometimes, for example, they might invade a scare zone. So on occasion, I was in the festival arena, and then the Crows come along, and then it's just more scary. Also, I had a good experience with them. I was queuing for Roots of Evil. They came into the queue line. They would basically, people just entertain you while you're waiting for Roots of Evil, which is a brilliant idea. I don't know if they do it all the time, obviously, but I was just lucky timing, and they just came to like the queue area and just entertained it. You can hear people screaming and everything. So that was the Crows. Probably one of the best things at Fright Nights there was to offer. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. And as you can see, here they are in the festival, invading it, just making it more creepy. But yeah, that is all that happened at Fright Nights. Personally, I thought it was a good year. I mean, many of us, I was expecting to not even know there was going to be Fright Nights, which is just a good thing that they pulled it off, and they gave it their all, really. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. So there we are, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my sort of review of everything at Fright Nights, and so be surprised if you made it this far, because this is kind of gone on for a very long time. So if you have stuck to the end, be sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.